Hello everyone, Beth Willoughby here for chapter 2 of the 2020 Quarantine Yo-Yo Stamp Club videos. I have a couple of projects to show you today, and they both are made using the best Plaid builder dies. And the best Plaid builder dies are new to this annual catalog. There are 2 pieces, and there's the main grid and a crosshatch grid. The first project I'm going to show you today is this thank you card, and it is done with Whisper White, some Mango Melody Bright Designer Series paper, and each year Stampin' Up! Does a 6x6 paper pad of each of the color families, and they use a little bit different print and design each year. So this year, they have the small print here, a wood grain look, polka dots with cross hatches. You see, and these are the brights, and each color comes in those prints. Okay, but today I'm using some Mango Melody. And I've hidden everything from myself. Okay, here we go. We start with a Whisper White thick card base. And I've gone ahead and pre-cut my pieces. You don't want to watch me doing that. I have a piece of Whisper White to back with. I did an under grid in the Mango Melody, and then I used the Mango Melody Brights Designer Series paper. And I did another grid in white to put on the top. You can see here what I've done. Now I'm going to adhere these things together, and we'll get on with what we're going to do. Thank goodness for fast forward. Now you see what we have here. Now I'm going to use the Big Shot and a rectangle die and cut out the center. And this is going to give us a nice paper piercing all around. And there you go. Now that's going to be our focal point on the card. The beauty of using this Tombow glue is it gives you a few minutes to move things around if you don't like the way you have it situated. Okay, we're almost done here. This is the outline, and this is part of the Poppy Moments dies. I use this outline here and this center portion. I already went ahead and cut those. And all we have to do is pop this up on here and do a sentiment, and we've got a very cute card. Now, of course, you don't have to use 2 or 3 layers. You can use them singly or together. And I think there's all kinds of different effects that you can get from this set of dies. I was thinking it might be cute to also try and weave some ribbon through one of them. This is our new in color Magenta Madness, and it's very, very bright. Very bright. But I think in an outline like this, it's very pretty. So we're going to use some of that ink and stamp "Thank You." And use our classic label punch to cut that out. I'm going to put this further over to the right so I have room to tuck it under part of the flower. And "Thank You" will still show. And there you have it. Cute card. Okay, the second card I'm going to do is quite different. It's a technique that I just found on the internet this past week, and it's pretty remarkable. It's called faux tile. And if you can see the glossy on that, it almost looks like a linoleum or a backsplash in a kitchen. The first one I did, I used another stamp, and this is Just Jade and Bumblebee inks. You can see the gloss on there. And we will be using the Plaid builder dies for this technique. Just this section. First, we're going to have to stamp. And I've got my Poppy Parade base here. And I made myself a note, not to forget to tell you, to take your Whisper White and back it with some of the adhesive sheets that we've used before when we've done intricate dies. And these sheets are in the Stampin' Up! Catalog now. The stamp set we're going to use is Inspiring Iris. This is a really cute two-step stamp that I have really been enjoying. And we're going to use Poppy Parade and Bumblebee inks, as well as some Pistachio and Mossy Meadow. The first thing we're going to do is stamp the outlines of both the iris and other flowers here. And we're going to stamp those in Mossy Meadow. And I tried to just do a repeating pattern and to fill it up quite a bit with images. Fill the paper quite a bit with the images. Okay, so that's enough outline on the iris right now. The other outline is, let's see here, please bear with me. We have an outline of this flower. Okay, and we're going to stamp it in Mossy Meadow as well. Now, again, we'll just place them randomly. I'll do one more up here. Now we'll stamp the colored part. And the iris has both the leaves and the floral images. We're going to stamp the second stamp of the leaves with the pistachio. And just line it up the best you can. I think that's part of the beauty of these, is that they're very forgiving. The images are very forgiving. Okay, I believe that's all of that one. And we have the insides of the other flower, the leaves. Let's see, and they go like this. There's just a little one peeping in there. Okay. Now we have the insides of these flowers, and we're going to do those in both the poppy and the bumblebee. You kind of have to finagle this around a little bit and figure out how the images go. I think they're pretty forgiving. Okay. I think I'll stamp the other two in the bumblebee. And the bumblebee is it's a dark mustardy color. Of course, you can get a little bit different image if you stamp off with it. Now we'll fill in the iris heads. Okay. I'll do one of these in yellow. I'll stamp off this time and see what it does. Whoops, stamp off and throw it away. You know, that's a little more subtle there. Okay. And now we'll do the other two with the poppy color. I'm gonna stamp off on this one. See if it gives us a little more shade variation. Yeah. Okay. And now there's one more teeny tiny little flower here that we can intersperse and fill out some of this blank space. Okay. And tiny little center for the flowers that I'm going to do in Mellow Moss. And I'm going to stamp the center of these flowers in Mellow Moss as well. I'll be finding those glue dot papers for the next month. Okay. And there we go. Now we've got our stamping done. Okay. Now, I put adhesive on the back, and you'll see why. Adhesive sheets, because the first time I did this, I didn't, and I ended up having it being a little more labor intensive than I cared for. Okay, so get my big shot set up here, and we are going to use this part of the die, and we're going to line it up here. Best we can. All right. Now I'm not going to take it off here, and you'll see why. I'm going to keep everything in order. Just kind of poke those where they will fall in order. Okay. And what we're going to do is paste these down on another piece of white cardstock. Hold on just a second. Now you can go side to side or up and down, whatever, but you want to keep these in a row so the pattern will hold true. And I'm just going to put them down here. I'll do the first row for you, and then we'll speed it up a little bit so that you don't have to suffer through the tedium. But you'll see what I mean. The first time I did this, I had to apply adhesive to the back of these, and so it really added up. Now when you put them down, you want to leave a little bit of room in between, maybe 1/8 of an inch, and that's what's going to make it look like grout lines in your tile. And I have to look back at this every now and then and think, okay, which way? So you might want to get a routine going on how you treat these pieces when you take them off. This is a little bit time consuming, but I think that the end product is well worth it. Okay, you see what we have there? We can trim off the excess. And then we're going to put the magic touch on it. We're going to emboss the entire front in clear embossing powder. And that's going to give us the shiny linoleum tile look. So we're going to cover the entire front of the tile piece with Versamark ink. And I encourage you to not touch the top. Try to just hold on to the sides because you will leave fingerprints. You'll have embossed fingerprints in your final piece. Okay, let's see how we can do this here. Let me get my embossing done. We're going to let that cool for a minute. But you can see that gives you that wonderful faux tile look. I just love this. It's so different. So different. And really wasn't that much work. Okay, to finish the card, again, we have a Poppy database, a Poppy database, a Poppy card base. I cut this out from the Painted Labels dies. And I'm gonna use one of our old 1-inch punches, and we're gonna stamp thanks on here in moss. Okay. Crop that out with our 1-inch punch. Add a little glue. And fix it to our die cut. Now the Tombow die will dry clear too, so if you get a little goop out there on the corner, don't worry about that. We're also going to use some of our new Bumblebee gingham ribbon. Now this is, how wide? 1/4 inch wide. See if this is dried good. Yes. So all I did was come around the back with the ribbon, go down through this little part of the die, back up through, and tie a simple knot. We attach that to our base, and there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you again soon. Thanks.